Pharah is one of the most difficult players in Overwatch to master. I'm here to debunk the urban myth that a good Pharah is impossible to find, and that all Pharahs are poorly coded AIs. Pharah has an assumptive super skill value of 95. Assumptive super skill is a simple function where you take games where Pharah was needed, and you divide that by games where Pharah was actually played. I call this the character's relative utility. Now multiply that by how good the player actually thinks they are, and in this case, you'll see that Pharah's relative utility is incredibly small, but the average perceived skill of the Pharah player brings up her assumptive super skill a decent amount. This also puts Pharah's average assumptive super skill almost on par with heroes like Bastion, who are also very tough to master. All this just goes to show that it takes practice to get good at Pharah. Thinking you're good is only half the battle. Anyway, let's dive into actual ways to improve your Pharah game. Number 1. When to use your ultimate. I see a lot of novice players standing on the ground using Pharah's ult, or even jumping a little bit before using it, and the real problem with this is that it doesn't give the other team a fair chance to showcase their skills. Waiting until the very peak of your jump arc before ulting shows a lot of love for the other team. Overwatch is a game about fair play and respect. Some of the best games I've played have been with players who respectfully request consent before using their ultimates. I'd recommend that any good Pharah player does the same. Number 2, making adjustments. This is arguably the most important one. Whenever you die as Pharah, you need to watch the kill cam and then ask yourself, how did I die? Now that you've figured that out, you need to ask yourself what the real underlying reason for your death is. Was it A, your team couldn't take out that Bastion for you, or was it B, the Mercy was too stupid to save her res for you? Either way, you can see that your gameplay wasn't the real factor in your death. Here, the only way you can improve is just to keep playing Pharah exclusively. Even if your team can't support you enough while you get gold in objective time and deaths, eventually they'll see how important you are and they'll all switch to Mercy. Okay, so one question I get a lot from my massive fan base is, how do I counter a good Pharah? This is a really great question. Thanks to Steve for asking it. But the issue here is that it operates under false assumptions. Actually, there isn't any such thing as a good Pharah. If you think the other team has a Pharah that's just shredding you to pieces, that's actually indicative that your team sucks and should probably uninstall the game. They say the best defense is a good offense, so against Pharah, I'd go as far as recommending you try to spawn camp her and kill her before she can get out and do damage to your shrimpy comrades. It's also worth noting that Pharah can 7-shot just about any hero in the game except for Lucio. I don't want to get too technical here, but to put it in layman's terms, he's just too fast. Okay, so that's it. That's all you need to know to play a good Pharah. Hope you learned a lot. I know I learned a ton just by making this video. I love you.